Welcome back. This is K24 This Morning. We're looking at the big story of the day, of course. Right now, keeping a keen eye on the coronavirus pandemic and also the effect it's having on business and the economy at large. Before we took the break, Bonaben, you had a point you wanted to bring in as far as the economy is concerned. And also, Kiprono had raised the point that probably now is the time we reevaluate our business models and see how we can actually be exporting more than we are bringing in.
Well, I agree with him, but what are we exporting? You realize the coffee price. People are cutting down the coffee trees. Tea the same. So what are we exporting? Apart from flowers, coffee, cash crop in coffee, in tea has gone down.
Right.
So you cannot encourage somebody to export or to continue doing coffee farming. Well, there is no market for it, or the price is still down. The other time you realize the milk issue, we were importing milk from Uganda, and every farmer was now even spilling the milk or even throwing it away.
Right.
So we also have to look what are we going to export. When you come to manufacturers, what are we manufacturing? And why did we go to China or the other places to import even tissue papers or even toothpaste, or even toothpick, match boxes? Why did we have to go that direction? So these are some of the things, as my colleagues have said, we really need to look at the benefits of doing that. The importance, what we did is just to fill in that gap. It's just to fill the gap that the manufacturers or the other people could not match. So that's why there is that big import business to fill in the gap. Then the issue of agriculture, how are we encouraging our youth? That we don't have big junk of lands to encourage our youth, and even the money, we should have money to give to them. And also, as he said, the extension officers, whereby they will advise, if you want to plant an avocado, this is the correct time and this is the correct soil. So these are kind of the advices that we need even to give to our youth.
Right now, I'm able to understand we also have the Nairobi Securities Exchange CEO on the line, Geoffrey Dundo. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you, my good sir?
Very well, thank you. How are you doing?
Very well. This is K24 This Morning, talking about the coronavirus pandemic and the effect it's had on the economy and business environment as a whole. Let's start off on a Friday last week. First presser by CS saying that we have a first case of corona in the country, and the NSE, the markets really took a hit on that one, closing the markets early, and a lot of jitters just going around after that particular move by the NSE. Was it effective on Friday, what was done? Because very many people weren't sure. What does this mean from an investor point of view?
Well, the announcement by the minister was more precipitated, more like a little what I call panic selling. But all along the day, we witnessed some weakening of prices. But around about 12 o'clock, there was a bit of a panic selling, and we kept monitoring this. A lot of inflows from the foreign investors, and there was a bit of a weak demand on the local side. So our rules stipulate that when the index goes below 5% at the opening session or during continuous trading, we have to halt it for 30 minutes to allow the market to absorb whatever information that's coming in. So it was a normal market impact arising out of that declaration. And at about 2:38, we had to take a decision to halt the market. We then experienced, from 2:38 to 3 o'clock, the market was on a halt, so the market closed automatically at 3. But we resumed normal trading on Monday. So it was not anything out of the ordinary. We've done this before, and it's a normal market practice to allow markets to absorb any key information that's sipping into the market for investors to make informed decisions.
Okay. And also, even looking at it, because when you look at markets globally, most of them taking a slump with what's currently happening due to the corona pandemic. With regard to the NSE, what action plan do we have going forward? Because this seems to be the new reality. We've been told this. Brace ourselves. This is going to be here for a couple of months down the road. What's the action plan for the Securities Exchange moving forward?
So the NSE has a very robust market infrastructure. So we are able to fire the market remotely. We have got business continuity plans that allow the market to operate, whether we are on-site or off-site, backups, etc. So the market will continue operating. Our traders are also very well connected, and this is the benefit of an automated environment. So we do not foresee the market being unable to open at any one time. We are witnessing good rebalanced positions, good local demand coming in, so it's sort of cushioning the effects of the exits from the international markets. And so I think we're going to remain very, very back to this. The market's going to continue operating as usual.
Okay. We've heard from different business players what we'd like to call their wish list towards the government during these particular times that we have. Some people talking about tax rebates. Others have been asking, banks to freeze loan repayments and mortgage repayments as well. From where you stand as the CEO of the exchange right now, what expectation do you have from government moving forward during this particular time? What do you feel the government needs to do?
I'd like to see the government do a bit more in terms of supporting businesses through some level of stimulus, be it tax incentives, be it some tax holidays to businesses, because this is going to be a very challenging time. On our part, we'd like to see the government's response more effective. I think they're doing a good thing by providing a bit more transparency, because markets need to be calm and a bit more and confidence provided. So that reassurance and openness is very, very critical for us. Okay.
And finally, even before I let you go, what's your message to the investors in the market right now, both small scale and those that are large scale? Because, as you said, confidence is key. People need to remain calm. But as CEO of the exchange, what's your message to them?
Sorry, mister?
What's your message to the various investors in this particular space and time as far as the NSE is concerned?
My message is that the market is very attractive. Some of the companies are trading at very highly discounted positions never seen before. Markets will recover. We've seen even China, the US, the markets recover at various points. So this is an opportunity, especially the domestic institutional investors, to really come out and prove themselves, and even the retail I know times are hard, but these are opportunities that I think when we see some recovery or see some resolution, we'll actually they'll be able to make some attractive returns.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time this morning. Geoffrey, thank you so much for that. All the best today.
Thank you very much.
That has been Geoffrey Odundo, CEO of the Nairobi Securities Exchange, just talking about what happened on Friday, looking forward, of course, to the week as well, and all they expect from the government in that particular regard. In the tail end of that conversation, Kiprono, he spoke about some of the opportunities that are therein to be found, and I want us to move that discussion to that particular point of view as we come to this part of the show. He spoke about domestic institutions and retail being a space where there are opportunities. You touched on that earlier. And because this is a space where we are, with any disruption, there also lies a lot of opportunity for those who can see it. What aren't people looking at with all the noise that's going on?
Okay, first of all, before I comment on that, I just wanted to say that the NSE, especially under the leadership of Jeff Odundo, is doing a tremendous job. I mean, the NSE is one of the best governed institutions in this country. The corporate governance is at an exceptional level. The innovation is very high. Last year, when I sit on the board of the NSE, and last year when we went to Botswana, actually I realized how we in Kenya look at our NSE as just one other boss, but in reality, actually the rest of the continent looks at us as a point of reference insofar as innovation is concerned. And Jeff Odundo himself has done a tremendous job, and I want to just commend him for that. We are actually rated as the best exchange in Africa.
In Africa?
Yes.
Wow, that's
so
a big deal.
That is important to note. And what we just need, there is a new program now called Ibuka that is supposed to onboard other companies, and we just need more people to have confidence and faith in the NSE. And in terms of the opportunities, there are many opportunities, and I touched on those a little bit earlier. And back to Mr. Gidai, who said, Mutai, sorry, I beg your pardon. Back to Mr. Mutai, he said earlier on that, what is there that we can export? And I want to answer that question. There is a lot that we can export. And as Kenya, we know that we are primarily an agricultural economy. And as a country, we know that we have not taken agriculture seriously enough. But then agriculture in itself actually creates the potential for a lot of industry. Agro-processing is a huge potential industry for this country. We can actually supply the region as South Africa supplies the southern part of Africa. We can be the economic hub for that sort of industry in this part of the world. We have done quite well in terms of textile manufacture, and I think you know that, Bonamutai, that we've, through the AGOA program, we showed our own ability as a country to manufacture and export finished textile products. So I think there are a lot of opportunities in that. Insofar as the digital economy is concerned, Kenya is one of the countries that has the most bandwidth, in terms of the undersea cables that terminate into the country, the intercity cables, and also the metro cable. We've got companies like Jamii Telecom, we've got companies like Safaricom, companies like Zuku that have deployed extensive fiber networks. So it is very possible to power our digital economy. So there is opportunity, even in terms of telemarketing, in terms of last mile, in terms of even our supermarkets going online. In many parts of the world today, people don't actually go to the supermarkets, they don't even go to the shops, they are actually trading from outside of that. So there's opportunity there. And in terms of delivering services in the event even of a lockdown. I'll
come to Churchill as well, because I have Faith Dambuki was talking about and asking, this is a question that she had put online, and I think it's good that you look at it as well, because she was looking at it from a foreign exchange trader online, asking if this is the time to actually get into this particular space. You're monitoring the markets right there. There's been a lot of talk about FX trading of late. She's wondering, is this the time? Is this the time to make a killing on that particular stage?
Well, Forex exchange, mostly on the online trading platform, is a 24/7 business. So already that's an opportunity by itself. But that said, it depends with which currencies you're looking at. So you find that you can't even trade the Kenya shillings. You find that most of the traded currencies are the big currencies, dollar, euro, the pound. So people now should be looking keenly at these global markets. And one of the things that is coming out from all these COVID-19 issues is how integrated we are as the world. And pandemic that started in Wuhan, China, is now something that is now relatable to Kenya or other parts of the world. So you find that we are an integrated community, and you find that now in FX trading, that could be the best place now to look at things here. So there's an opportunity for Faith Nambuki to look at it,
Ben, I'll come to you as well, because even as you talk about how difficult business has been downtown and other areas, you also told me there are still opportunities that some people are now making cash hand over fist in this particular period.
Well, yeah, it's agreed. People are making a cash, and there are opportunities, and we have hope that some people will come out maybe better financially because of this calamity, because I have seen now people have even started manufacturing sanitizers from any point from their homes and things like that. So there's some hope in that people make some money, and every opportunity probably will give another dimension of how we are going to work. As my colleagues have said, we are not ruling out that everything is lost. We still have hope in agriculture. We have hope in even doing our own, giving our own solutions, even in all these problems. If I take you back, I have seen now, even downtown, even the matatus have installed some jerrycan with water. Before you enter into a matatu, there is water for you to wash. And this water and other gadgets, you are buying them. So that's a business also. And when you look at it critically, if we cannot come together and look at the way forward and what opportunities are there, we talk about opportunities are there, but which are they? We have now to define, and as Bwana Kitonyi says, we can say these are more of a policy issue, but let's be practical. Let's tell the Kenyans, now we go to the next phase, telling Kenyans this is the opportunity which is there. Do this, you get returns. That's how business is done, and Kenyans will have that trust that somebody somewhere is thinking about ourselves.
Right.
I'm in the task force with the Trade Ministry, and I'm meeting them at 11, and we have been telling them some of these things we need to do to be practical. Let's be a practical nation. We have been talking about policies which have been very good, but now it's the high time that we need to be practical, and it will not cost, it will not require so many people. You only need one person in the whole of CBD to move around and tell people this is what we need to do. Nobody knows the effect when you do sanitization. After how many minutes do you need to do it? Probably we need a team of health officers to move around, telling people at the stages and things like that. Because you realize Kenyans are ignorant, and that's why they are still talking about this is not African issue, this is not a Kenyan disease, because we are still in that age, and we are paying, even you realize now, until yesterday or so, that churches have even advised members not to go to church next Sunday. We were still saying, we are praying
to go to church.
Yeah, we are praying nation, but praying you can even do it in the house. You can pray it even here or anywhere else. So the churches have issued circulars that you come next Sunday, stay at home, pray at home. So what we are saying, we have hope, and the most important is if all Kenyans can come together and be calm and also give ways where we can unlock this, we will be better. We have had so many ideas, even from entry, challenges, where we had, for the last 1 month, everybody was issuing challenges. Why are we allowing the 239 aircraft with the passengers? You know, until it hit us, you realize now we are on 6th day, 6 days down the line, and we have 4 cases. So we need to get an assurance or a way out, even if it means locking the city center, if that need be. We need to go to that direction.
We have a tweet from Nosim Kad who says, it's not only agriculture that's a joke, but the whole Big Four agenda a complete joke, and now coronavirus is showing us exactly that. With agriculture specifically, and even on food security, because as late as yesterday, there was still talk of whether we should import maize or not. The chair of the Strategic Food Reserve saying that we need to import maize, CS and Ministry of Agriculture saying we don't need to import maize. And yet, this is the most basic need. It's food. And yet, here we are again, Kiprono, with the same commodity, maize. Why do we go round and round in circles? Even in such times, we still have this maize circus going on in our country.
Okay, before I go to maize, let me just challenge Bwana Mutaya, but I really like what he said. Apart from one thing, he said Kenyans are ignorant. So I want to ask him, compared to who? Because really, me, I'm not ignorant. I'm refusing that statement.
You disowned it. It is noted on that particular point. And that's why we're here, to make sure we reduce that particular ignorance and let them know.
On the contrary, I would say Kenyans are actually quite well informed. And they're also humorous. I mean, on social media a few days ago, I was seeing when Safaricom said there's no more charges for M-Pesa below 1,000 shillings.
Right.
And I saw some guy on Facebook saying, okay, Safaricom have come to the table. Wamesema yao. Na brewery je mtasema nini?
They told us don't let that.
Can you drop the prices?
Indeed.
That is the question of maize. On maize, really, the truth of the matter is that our productivity in so far as the production of maize is concerned is wanting. And it is wanting because there's nothing different that has been done. The bulk of the maize that is grown in Kenya is grown in Trans Nzoia districts. In Trans Nzoia districts, to this day, farmers even now are preparing to plant maize. There isn't any access to any subsidized fertilizer. People are, the market, it's completely free market forces. The Cereals and Produce Board did not buy, this is the 3rd year running. They have made no purchases whatsoever. So the chair of the Strategic Grain Reserve needs to tell us. If they want to stop their strategic reserve through imports, it is very unfortunate because you see that farmers in Trans Nzoia and in other parts of the country have been in production for the last 3 years.
Right.
So why didn't they intervene to even make some purchases? Although on the positive side, we've also proven that despite the fact that the strategic grain reserve did not come into play through the NCPB, the market held, and the price of maize this year was higher than even in the previous years.
Right.
So it shows that there is an open market price mechanism that actually shows that there is a demand for maize in this country.
Right.
However, if we are producing using the same techniques, using 2 bags of DAP and 1 bag of CAN, on soils that are very acidic, that have gone through the same agronomical practice for the last 30, 40, 50 years, what's your productivity going to be?
Right.
2 weeks ago, I was in the Orange Free State in South Africa. In South Africa today, the maize farmers are producing up to 40 bags per acre. In Trans Nzoia, we were doing 25, 30 a few years ago. That has gone down to 20. It's probably gone down to 15. If you went and looked at the average, there's a serious issue in terms of productivity.
Right.
So again, it is back to the science of agriculture.
Right.
Are we using the correct scientific methodologies to produce what we are producing? Are we doing that? And earlier on, my colleagues here talked about the imports that are coming into Kenya. In Western Kenya today, most of the eggs and the chicken are supplied from Uganda.
Across the border.
Most of the tomatoes right now, with the current prices, are coming in from Ethiopia.
Yeah.
In the southern part of Kenya, a lot of our agricultural commodities are being fed by Tanzania. So what is it that we are doing? We need to sit down as a country, look at our own competitiveness, look at our own productivity, look at how we are doing it, and find out better ways of doing it.
Okay, coming to the tail end of the show, I'd like to have our closing remarks as we go around the table, just talking about where we are and how we see ourselves moving forward. We'll start with you, Bonaben. What are your closing remarks this morning?
Well, Jeff, there is hope. Coming Saturday, we have a National Prayer Day. So that is giving us hope. The President has directed that. That's a big hope. The other issue is for Kenyans to remain calm and take precautions. We would encourage everybody that Kenya will remain because it's a good country. Let's be united. Let's face the challenges. Though there is panic buying, you go to supermarket, there is like grabbling of everything that is there, be it uga. So again, we need to be assured that the supply will be there.
Right.
So as a way forward, we are one big nation and we are one team. Let everybody do his part.
And we'll be fine.
We'll be fine.
Okay, fine. Thanks, Ben, for that. Churchill, what's your message this morning?
I think 2 things are coming to the fore. One is I'm seeing change in consumer behavior. Looking at even measures being implemented in the developed nations whereby there's a curb in people going to restaurants, or even, I saw one even to the beers whereby you just do take away stuff from these entities. So I'm seeing a scenario whereby, and already we started seeing, whereby there could be a whole shift in consumer behavior. We saw recently Tuskies and Senders with that home delivery plan being put in place. So we'll be seeing more and more. Of late, we've been seeing even some of these entities in Kenya, eatery entities in Kenya, now they are being used as verbs. Jeff, let's do Java. So it's more of that ambience at that particular place, the Java. Right. But now with where we'll be going will be more of deliveries being taken forefront, and that talks about even Silicon Savannah. Kenya is known as a Silicon Savannah. So this is the test that will be Kenya is being put in place, whether indeed we are the Silicon Savannah that we are seen to be. The second issue is about looking inward, and that speaks to the fact that most of these be it exports or imports from other countries are being curbed at the moment. So there's that element of how as Kenya, we can be able to produce some of these inputs that you're looking at from the Far East Asia nations, or some of the end products that we're importing en masse, and whether we can be able to produce them locally. So there's that issue that going forward, perhaps even manufacturing and linkages with the agro-processing. We've talked about agriculture and how we can be able to link, even we can be able to produce and manufacture some of these products going forward. Yeah.
Okay, thanks for that, Churchill. Finally, Kipono, what's your parting shot this morning?
Again, I suggest and I state that there is hope. And I have 3 things to say in closing. One is my heart goes out to all the personnel in the healthcare industry, the doctors and the nurses who are at the front line of this war against coronavirus, the personnel at the airports, people who have to by virtue of their job, by dint of what they do, to interact with the public on a daily basis because they are providing those very crucial services. I think let us as a society, let us as people surround these people, let us support them, let us give them all the moral support that they need during this very crucial time. The second thing I wish to say is to commend the President, to commend all the leaders, to commend C.S. Mutahi Kagwe. He's been a very powerful communicator. He's come out clearly to show that there is a way forward in this whole agenda. And I think that we are working under the guidelines of what the World Health Organization is stating, and the communication that is coming out from the government is serious communication, and I think the public should, for one, take this communication seriously, and the measures that they're asking us to take, let us take them seriously. Okay. And the very final comment is that the best prayer for our country this time are the words of our national anthem. I read them every day, and actually that is what, as a country, we need to rally around. Okay. Thank you.
That's on a very patriotic note as well, and that's why we leave it as far as the newspaper review is concerned this morning. Thank you so much for making time for this discussion. Ben Mutahi, thank you so much. Chair of the Nairobi Importers and Small Traders Association, thank you so much for your time. Churchill Ogutu, Head of Research, Genghis Capital, thank you so much for your time and your insights as far as the data is concerned. Chair, Radio Africa Limited, CEO, Capital Real Time, thank you so much for your time. Kipono Kitoni. We'll take a short break. We're back on the other side as we get interactive. Keep that feedback coming in. You can get us at K24 across all social media platforms. We're back after the break.